What up, everybody? It is Wednesday, June 8th. It is summertime, hot in Nevada. It's a little hot in Kansas City. I don't know how. It's probably snowing in Ohio. But we are here for the Wire Sports Podcast. We've got a slew of things to talk about, including the NBA Finals. We've got to talk about Aaron Donald and how he is making history again, and so much more. The Wire, it starts right now.
It's first and 10. I'm a legend boy, a champion. They can't match the flows, the X's and O's. I'm breaking the code, devastation about to unfold. They calling me Derek by the way I roll. Bet you never ever seen a pro this cold. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I mix with I am Mike and the great Ali. I'm a run it back, believe me, baby. I fathered the game, call me Daddy Brady. I'm like that, try be like this. Sammy, so that boy don't miss. It's the return of the greatest. Any way you name it, I'm everybody's favorite. I'm bringing the pain and bringing the fire. Hey, stay tuned, it's going down to the wire.
What is up, fellas? How are we doing? Welcome back to The Wire. Hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend and week.
Yeah, what is good, what it is.
How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Shout out to Richie. He is feeling better with what he was dealing with. It lasted 2 weeks. So glad to know Richie's better and he will be back soon. But for now, it is me, Trey, and Sahe, and that is plenty of entertainment for you lucky folks out there. Let's go ahead and dive on in to what we got planned for today. Starting off with probably the biggest topic, at least for those of us that have to do sports research every week. The NBA Finals are going on. In our week off, it was finalized and the finals have started. It's the Celtics versus the Warriors. So let's do, we kind of have an algorithm for the NBA Finals after a few seasons of The Wire. And so what we'll do is we'll go over first your guys' just overall thoughts on the play-in to get, the Celtics and the Warriors, their road to the playoffs, and your overall view of what you've seen so far in games 1 and 2 that have taken place. And for those of you watching at home, I know the game 3 is going on right now, but you can be nice and use 2 devices and watch us and them. So whoever wants to start with your overall view on the Celtics Warriors matchup.
Who want to go first? You want to go? I'll go. All right. I'll start off with the Celtics, right? Those lucky ass bastards. That's how they got to the finals real tough. I mean, you got Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, the most dysfunctional family in the NBA, right? They trade for a guy. They trade one of their top guys, right? James Harden to the 76ers for Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons is just a big ass idiot. All right. I'm sorry. I think we can all agree on that. All right. So those teams were supposed to clash for ultimate glory in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. But they just, for whatever reason, were so dysfunctional and unwilling to get on the court and play basketball and do the things that they needed to do to be successful this season. They just paved the road. What's that game they play in the Olympics where they're like shooting like the little ball thing across the ice? Whatever. Shuttleboard or
It's
I know you
curling.
They just curled the path right for the Celtics. They're just like, hey guys, come on. This is where you want to go. We'll clear the path. And that's exactly why they did. Along the way, they were fighting with each other. So the Celtics just happened to get there. Pure luck, they got the luck of the Irish on their side. It's in their logo and all that. So you can't really say anything for why they made it. It's just the luck of the draw. So on the other side, you got the Warriors. You got the team of destiny, right? The team that was the dynasty finally reforming Ultron. They're getting their guys back. They're getting guys that never been here before to step up. That's just the magic of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Steve Kerr, and Draymond Green. They got Jordan Poole out there playing like he's Scottie Pippen, Penny Hardaway, hitting half-court shots. You know what I'm saying? They got Andrew Wiggins looking like the second coming of KD. So they got the squad. They're jumping on all cylinders, and it's not a surprise to me they're here where they are. You know, right? And we're talking about them still. You know, their kryptonite, LeBron James, is out of the playoffs, so we all know they were going to be here. So I mean, it's just it's like a oddball pair, like oddball couple finals, you know. But at the same time, it makes for a good series because we already seen it's tied up going into Game 3. So, I mean, are we talking about our thoughts on each game, or?
We'll get into that in just. I mean, you can do your thoughts on the overall, but we'll.
Yeah. So I'll wrap it up with that. Yeah, we got an interesting series. It's pretty good, right? Some things you wouldn't expect to happen is happening, and then things you do expect to happen is happening. So you got to be tuned in to every second of it.
Trey, we got Super Bowl Sahe in the first 10 minutes of The Wire, and now you got to follow him. Oh yeah, take a nice drink, take a breath.
So let me get this straight. You're telling me that the Celtics got a cakewalk to the finals, and the Warriors are a destined team.
Destined team. They meant
First
to be
and foremost, the Warriors actually got the cakewalk. If we're really being honest, if you look at what they had to do, which is they had to go through the Nuggets, who don't have not even their top scorer, their top two scorers. Jokic is the MVP, but they rely on Michael Porter Jr. and for the point guard to score. Then they fought the Grizzlies, who lost Ja Morant, and they lost their second leading scorer to because he got suspended. And then they got the Mavericks, and Luka got hurt. So I think the Warriors once again got the cakewalk. But if you look at what the Boston Celtics had to do, they had to go through KD and Kyrie. Dysfunctional or not, they had to go through KD and Kyrie. Then they had to go through the defending champs and Giannis, reigning MVP. Well, no, he didn't get the MVP, but Finals MVP. And then they had to go through probably the most, I'll say the most all-around team in the playoffs, which was the Miami Heat. They're battle tested. My heart is saying I want the Warriors to win because I'm a Lakers fan. But my head is telling me that the Celtics themselves, if they could consistently put it together, could be a problem for the Warriors because they have no one on their team that can take Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. No one. You can see what they're missing shots. Jason Tatum is missing shots against Steph Curry and who else they got guarding them? Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, like that's who they have guarding Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is just missing shots. Al Horford had Steph Curry on some matchups in the block and only came away with 2 points in this last game. Marcus Smart had 5 turnovers and only came with 2 points. Steph Curry only had 15 points in the first half. He dropped 14 in the third quarter, but he had 15 first in the first half. Klay Thompson wasn't hitting. Jordan Poole wasn't hitting. And they were only down by 2. The Warriors should be scared right now because they lost the game. They lost the game they should have won. And they almost if things would have gone a certain way in the third quarter, they almost could have had this a close game instead of a blowout. So I think the Warriors are scared.
Interesting. Sahe, you want a rebuttal before we?
Yeah, man. The Warriors are scared. No, they just had, you know what I'm saying, a mental lapse in that first game. They watched the show. They heard me talking about, like, yeah, the Warriors gonna sweep. They might give them 2 games. I said that. Might. And they got one. They got one. He got us. We might let you get another one, but
they're gonna win the first home game in Boston for sure.
Yeah, and probably the second too, 3-1. But
no, I'm talking about the Boston Celtics are gonna win game 3.
Wow. It's gonna be too much pressure for them. They got the Warriors on them. The Warriors wasn't on them in game 1. They were like, we got this. Like, they really messed
Steph had 21 in the first half.
The first game?
Yeah.
Yeah, they was playing loose. They was playing fun. They was having fun the whole game. They was relaxed. They was putting it up. It was falling.
They were up by 20 and lost.
Yeah, they were up by 14, 20, something. They were like,
actually 25.
They were looking at each other on the bench. Sahe did say it would be days like this. They were sitting back.
Sahe said there'd be days like this.
It was like, yo, like, this is amazing.
Hey, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and the Warriors, thank you for tuning into the Wire Sports Podcast. Share it with your friends. Hit up the Patreon, would you? Just send us some donations.
Subscribe. The Celtics caught them, but yeah, what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say if we get to $1 million in donations, we'll take the top 100 listeners to like Kings Island or something. That's honest to God. If we get to $1 million in donations, we will do that. We'll take 100 listeners to Kings Island in Dayton, Ohio, or Cincinnati, Ohio. We'll do that. We can do that.
I'll pay for 2 or 3.
He said, "I'll do that if we get us to $1 million." All right. So the next thing we do when we talk finals, and we'll probably have this same kind of setup next week. Let's go over. You can reference those first 2 games in detail now. We're gonna start with the Celtics. Whether you want them to win or lose, what do the Celtics need to do to make this finals a championship? Whoever wants to start.
First and foremost, they need to stop turning the ball over. Let's start with that. Let's work on not turning. If you turn the ball over 14 times against the Warriors, you already know it's about to happen. And they're not missing. They want to get the pace up because they have the run. They have the players to do it. As soon as Jordan Poole hit that 3 from the corner or from the logo, oh, this is a wrap. That was game. If Jordan Poole is doing that and then walking down the court, hitting him with the come on, man. So if they want to even have a remote chance of being in this game, they're gonna have to take better care of the ball. Marcus Smart and Al Horford, not offensive, goal mines. I don't expect Al Horford to hit 6 threes or nothing like that, or I'm not expecting Marcus Smart to drop 40, but they got to do better than 2. They got to do better than 2. They're starters. You got 4 points out of 2 of your starters. That's insane. Jason Tatum, if you ever take 3 shots in the half again, you need to forfeit money. You need to pay them a game check if you're only going to take 3 shots in a half. Never. I don't care if you go 0 for 10. You have to take those shots. Or else what's going to happen is the defense is going to shrink. The offense is going to shrink. The defense is going to key in. And then you're really in trouble because Jaylen Brown can't do it by himself. He's not that type of player. What else did I see? Yeah, I think those things that Jason Tatum has to take more shots. Marcus Smart has to be a better facilitator. He needs to stop doing these turnovers. He had 5 turnovers in the first half, I think. That's uncalled for. And Al Horford's going to have to be better than 2 points.
Sahe, what about you, man? I know you said they lucked their way in, but what do the Celtics need to do to turn this playoff run into a championship?
Man, find the closest guy under the radar that's selling HGH, steroids, Michael you know they're gonna be on that. Honestly, they just need to hope that the shots aren't falling for the Warriors. Get them doing something else. Like Trey says, stop the turnovers. This is a tall task, you know, a tall task, almost a mission impossible. Let's see what they can do. Sorry, I got a text. I'm sorry. But
was that from Steph Curry?
Yeah. Right. He was saying good looking out. I don't know how he's right now.
Good luck on your recording tonight.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what they can do, man. I wish you guys comment down below. Let me know what y'all think they should do, because I don't know.
All right. Well, let's flip the coin then and talk about the Warriors. What do the Warriors need to do to turn this playoff run into a championship, another championship?
I'd say play the brand of basketball they know they can play. The Warriors are at their best when they're moving. Once they start doing this one-on-one thing, that's when they start getting stagnant. But the Warriors are very much at their best when the ball is moving. They very much play a very pure form. I would say a pure form of basketball as far as the motion goes, and ball movement. But when they're playing like that, and then once they're active on defense, I think we're talking about the number 1 and number 2 teams in defense in the NBA. If the Warriors are being active on defense and they're moving around on offense, then they are, I wouldn't say impossible to beat, but they're really tough to beat. So if they could just play their brand of basketball, then they should be good. Especially if they got the added addition of Jordan Poole. Because Clay and Steph space the floor so much, it makes the game a lot easier for everyone else. Because they have to press up on Steph and Clay at 30 feet. There's no lagging off to the 3-point line. No, you have to come up. So if you have 2 wings pressing up like that, and you have a ball handler like Jordan Poole, and you have a smart guy like Draymond Green, and you got a scorer like Andrew Wiggins, it just opens the floor up so everybody can get off. That's why their brand of basketball is so fun to watch. But if they could just play their brand of basketball, whether make or miss, the opportunities are still there. So.
All right. Sahe, what about you, man? What do you think the Warriors need to do to solidify a championship out of this playoff run?
Everything that Trey just said is exactly right. I can't expand upon that anymore. I was we were watching the game last night, the other night, game 2, at my buddy's house. And my one friend just leans over to me like, when Golden State, they start screening and moving around, it's nothing the Celtics can do. You know, and I'm like, yeah, you're exactly right. Moving off the ball, get the ball moving. They got guys, Klay Thompson, one of the best spot-up shooters. Steph can do it either way. What they really need to do, though, for sure, this is one thing I noticed in game 1 that got them in trouble a little bit, was Draymond Green taking threes. Take a few, but don't keep jacking them up, Draymond. That's not what they need from you in the game. You don't need to be a scorer unless it's around the basket. You know what I'm saying? He was shooting a little too much and missing a little too much. So I think that helped the Warriors get back in it. The Celtics get back in it. But yeah, they've got all the answers.
I want to challenge that. I think the Warriors were at their best when Draymond was hitting close to 40% from his threes. So he had a misplace here where I think he hit like between 36 and 37% from three.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that was the 73-9 hit. But when Draymond's hitting his threes and his guy, because he usually tends to have the 4-5, has to play up, it opens the floor that much more. And that's where we got the inclination that Steph is a really good finisher around the basket.
Yeah, I feel you on that. But the few that I seen he just wasn't hitting. So
no, he's not hitting them. But they should have. Draymond needs to be better at making threes, or even making mid. If he stepped up and made 18-footers, that would even be better.
Yeah. If you're gonna shoot them, you got to make them, and he wasn't making them. Like, shoot two. If you don't hit those two, start dishing.
Well, Draymond, since you and the Warriors are listening, why don't you go out and play some Round the World with Steph and work on the 3 game a little bit. All right, folks.
You know what, Draymond? I'm not talking trash. I'm just saying. Obviously, if you hit your threes and open up the floor more, it'll create more opportunities. I'm not talking trash. I'm just giving my analysis.
Right. It's coaching, right?
That's what we do here. All right. So speaking of what we do here, we mix things up quite a bit. Sahe, you've got everybody's brought a little bit of information for us today, a little bit of topics. Folks, before we move on, let us know in the comments below what you think about the playoffs, who you think is going to go all the way, what you made of game 1, game 2, what either team needs to do good to the victory, all the questions that we talked about. We always want your insight, so let us know in the comments or the review section below. Sahe, you had an interesting topic. We're moving on now, probably moving out of the NBA. What did you want to bring to the table?
Oh, well, this one is because this is a short one, kind of sticking with the NBA.
Okay.
NBA ref admits that they selectively enforce calls during big time games.
Interesting.
That's wild. Like, Draymond Green should have been called for a tech that he wasn't called for. And the ref was talking about he didn't do it because it would essentially be good for the game. You know? But, and I just don't feel like refs should be openly saying that, because people put a lot of betting dollars on these games and people are going to feel like, oh, they're being cheated now. You know, when the ref doesn't call something against an opposing team, they're like, oh, that ref's cheating for him. It's just going to get people screaming that even louder. You know, because people are always saying that already. And for a ref to just come out and just say it like that, I think that's terrible for the league. That ref should be fined.
I don't think we talked about that aspect, but that is a really big aspect of that. Like some of the viewers may know, I live out in Vegas. Sports betting is a thing. I know people that, you know, they put their checks up based off of information that they're given.
Yep.
And now you're telling us that they selectively make or don't make calls. That's along the lines of the guy that got caught in that betting scandal, that ref, a few years back.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, first of all, obviously, the straight announcer in me wants to say they shouldn't be trying to direct this. It's not your job. The NBA is already putting millions of dollars into putting the right players in the right places to make this a show. We don't need the refs' help in making it a show. They're going to make it a show any way they want to. What I honestly believe, if we're talking money, and I'll stay off the sport. Great point, guys, on the sports betting. I'll stay off of it because you covered it well. But this is going to decrease ratings, because think about it from a fan's aspect. Now, there was always a debate. For those of us that know wrestling, we know that it's like a stage combat, theatrical, athletic performance or whatever. But wrestling being fake, back in the 80s, when that started to become, that was a huge deal. They lost a lot of fans and went through a lot of trouble. Not to say that the NBA will take that kind of hit, but that's the kind of impression you're giving off to your fans, is that this is rigged. And there's already, undertones of that with like the NFL, with certain ways that all of professional sports come to a heading. There's fans out there, conspiracy theorists, people like Sahe, they're like, man, these guys are just getting a paycheck to go out there and flop it. They're pulling an Adam Sandler or Burt Reynolds, whichever version you prefer, in The Longest Yard. From that aspect, I think it's ridiculous. And second of all, whatever ref talked to the press, NBA, you better fire him. You better get him way the hell out of there, because it's going to stir a lot of trouble, not only in the betting world, but with the fans as well. You can lose dollars, and that's what you're in the game for. Sahi, we want to do your other one before we head to break, and then we'll do Trey's too on the back half.
Yeah, that's cool. This one is wild. Russell Westbrook, new quarterback of the Denver Broncos, is asked for a new deal.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Russell Wilson. I said Westbrook.
He's not quarterback.
I don't want Russell Westbrook quarterback in nothing.
Right? That would be interesting, though.
It would be a good celebrity game.
I take it on my own.
He asked a 5-year, $250 million contract, preferably fully guaranteed, just like Deshaun Watson.
5-year, 200. He wants $50 million a year.
Yep, fully guaranteed.
I'm sick of Russell Wilson. I'm sick of him,
Mister. That's Mr. Unlimited. What do you mean?
Sick of him.
Elaborate. Why are we sick of? You don't think he deserves that contract?
I think football players deserve every dollar they get. Don't get me wrong. But did he not just get a deal?
Yeah, he wants to rework the contract.
Yeah. He got that deal before Deshaun Watson made his.
That's not the team's fault. He could have negotiated that in his deal. And I'm never against a player reworking his contract. This is why I have so much respect for LeBron James as a player. He finished it before he negotiates talking about let me pause. We've never heard about LeBron having a contract issue. Yeah. You know why? LeBron finishes out his contract, and when he's done with his contract, he works out a new deal.
I mean, he's good.
Russell Wilson's contract should not be reworked because Deshaun Watson got a fully guaranteed 86?
231.
$231 million deal. That's pocket watching. You got your deal. Your agent negotiated that deal. He slid it to you, and he was like, "Hell yeah, sign. Where do I sign?" And now all of a sudden, because you pocket watch it, now all of a sudden you want to rework your deal when you still got how many years left still on his contract?
I am not sure. Maybe about
it's like at least 2 or 3.
Yeah. What year is he in? 2015 year, 6 year. I think he's year 7.
So but you said it was he's wanting that for 3 or for 5 years, right? A 5-year contract for $250. Here's my problem, and I had to take that long pause because for those Wire fans who've been with us for a long time, we love you. I used to have takes on this show, and I've always said, and we covered Patrick Mahomes' contract, and I've always said that I thought there was a lot of money there, and I didn't understand that. But now, and I live in a Chiefs household. I don't know how I'm going to live this down, but now after seeing Patrick Mahomes play, I could see him being one of the highest paying NFL quarterbacks, in the game. whether
he can't read defenses.
He's got the problem with defense, but that's Patrick Mahomes, and he's gotten the championship rings to prove it. He's been, year in and year out, Patrick Mahomes. Russell Wilson's really not every single year, and I hate for everybody to hate me at home, but he's asking for 40 more million. I did the exact math. Let me pull this back up here. He's asking for 46 more million in 5 years than Patrick Mahomes will make in 12. He's guaranteed 141.428 million over 12 years, and he got a 63.82 signing bonus. I don't see Russell Wilson being worth that much more than Patrick Mahomes to the Broncos or any team where he's at, and with the level of play that I personally think has been declining. I may be throwing shots where they don't belong, but when we talk top quarterbacks during the whole NFL season, and it was a long NFL season here on the wire and for the NFL players, we don't really talk about Russell Wilson. And so I just don't think it's deserved. I think, Sahe, there's probably a lot of truth to not only what you said about Deshaun Watson's contract, but another individual just had a big contract signing. Breaking news again. We'll hit that in the second half. But there's a lot of renegotiation going on right now, which is typical for this time of year. But I just don't think he's worth the dollars, and I don't think Denver will give it to him for that.
I think they will.
I think they will. He's this year he gets $19 million.
Yep.
With an additional $5 million in bonuses, so possible $24 million. And next year he gets $22 million with a possible $5 million in bonuses for $27 million. So he's 2 years. He's 2 years removed from the end of his contract, and in 2024 he's an unrestricted free agent. So he can start talking contracts now, I suppose. But I don't think $50 million. I don't think he's worth $50 million a year. Right now he's getting he went from 26 million, 31 million, 32 million in 2021. He got 32 million in 2021. He's going to get 24 million this year and then 27 million next year, assuming he makes his $5 million bonus. Get his $5 million bonus.
Yeah, I think that was $5 million bonus or roster bonuses. So all he has to do is be on the roster, which he will. I feel like since he's only got 2 years left on his contract, Denver really traded everything away to get this guy. He's really got Denver by the, the cojones right now. So his agent is probably like, yeah, ask for the highest amount possible. And he's like, yeah, I want $278 million. He was like this and leaned back in his chair. $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So he can do that. I feel like, to Justin's point, his play has been declining. They're not going to be able to put a winning team around him with him asking for that kind of money. So he's just
got all young players though, so they can do it now. They're talking about doing it now.
Yeah, that is true. But as far as like getting free agents to come over to Denver, they got the young guys. Those young guys may not pan out. To win Super Bowls in this year, in this day and age, you got to do it the way Tom Brady did it 2 years ago, and the Rams organization did it last year. You got to bring veteran guys in. You got to mix money around. You're not going to win having the highest paid quarterback.
And not to mention, and I hate to say this because we always talk about the quarterback carousel, but there's a lot of options for good quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I mean, to build a winning team around, if we're being honest, you don't have to have that much money. You don't have to get to break the bank to keep especially a guy like Russell Wilson around. Now, if you were trying to keep a Tom Brady on the team, or you're trying to keep a Patrick Mahomes, or I don't know about Aaron Rodgers, but you never know about Aaron Rodgers. That might not even be enough for the guy. I don't know. But for Russell, I just don't see it. Folks, we got to know what you think because, you're why we do this. So let us know in the comments in the review section. We are the H2G Radio Network, the Wire Sports Podcast. We're going to send you to a quick break for the network, but I'm going to give you a little extra plug on that. We are actively growing, folks. We're looking to hit 20 shows by the end of 2022. I know that is ambitious, but we are climbing quickly. We are over 10. We've got shows in pre-production. We've got shows like Free Mess on Friday starring Sahe and Trey now on times, and a whole mess of people coming on Free Mess on Fridays. We got True Crime for the Innocent Mind out with Sahe and Trey making a debut on the True Crime show later in the season. So a lot of really crazy things happening here. The Boss Dog show is coming out soon, another show out of Ohio. And this is a great show for anyone that's working in a job that you want to vent about. These guys are letting their jobs have it, specifically DoorDash. And I think it's a cool podcast. I mean, that's why we were so intrigued to have them on the show, because we all gripe about work, and what better way to gripe about work but then to get along with someone. So this is the Wire Sports Podcast. We'll be right back. Check out this little ad, and hey, during this ad, go and like and follow us and donate to the Patreon, would you?
Do it.
Hey, it's Justo here from the H2G Radio Network. Have you always wanted to get involved in podcasting? Right now, we're looking to grow our H2G family. So if you want to get involved in podcasting, videography, photography, editing, or producing, contact H2G Radio at justosbestlive@gmail.com. That's JUSTOSBEST@gmail.com. H2G Radio Network. By podcasters, for podcasters. All right, folks, that's right. Check out justosbestlive@gmail.com for right now for hiring. We are growing on purpose. So if you want to get involved with podcasting at all, just like the ad said, hit us up at justosbestlive@gmail.com. We will get you involved in any way you want to be. If you're a videographer, if you're a cinematographer, if you're an editor, if you make cool pictures on whether it be graphic design or with pen and pencil, I don't care. Let us know if you're a podcaster, obviously, and we'll get you into the fold. Let's get back to some sports, because I gotta pitch everything at the end anyway. I did bring another story, guys. Aaron Donald, he was already on a deal with 3 years left that had once been listed, and I think it still is. Just the way from the research I was reading, it was once listed as the highest paid non-QB in the NFL, period, like in history. He's now broke that record a second time. He has reworked his deal with the LA Rams for the 3 remaining years that he has, for a total. He went from a total of $55 million to a total of $95 million over those 3 years. Prior to this, guys, Aaron Donald had spoke out. It was right after the season about the possibility of retiring. He's 31 years old. My first question off of this story for you guys is this pay increase what was needed to keep that from happening? Do you think he was really going to close out those 3 years and just retire? And this contract changed his mind, or what? Whoever wants
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he was still paid if they couldn't have came to an agreement. I think he still would have played eventually. Like you said, it's not really about money. It's more about it's like a title. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm the highest paid player, but he still loves the game. He loves to compete. Because even when he's getting old and he can't make the money no more, he's still going to be trying to play the game of football. I see that happening. It's not just going to be like, oh, I can't play no more. Oh, let me quit. I don't want this. Like, I don't want to come in and play in these games anymore. I don't want to compete for a championship anymore. He's young. What else? Like, not that what else he can do. He cannot work again and be good. Like, that's not the point. The point is the competition. The rush of competition. I'm not a professional athlete. I've never have been, but I play rec league basketball because I like competition. I ran track because, which if anyone's had to practice for track, it's the worst practice you've probably ever been to in your life for competition, because I wanted to compete. It's a feeling, it's a rush. I don't see him just being like, no, I'm good. If that's the case, then he's not really competing in the sport, or he's not really playing the sport to his fullest potential at all. He's just there because he's really good at what he does and he can exploit it. And I don't want to go too far than that because I feel like I'll be crossing some lines. So
it's all right. I might bring that out of you here in a second. With that being said, Sahe, and obviously Aaron Donald has to be in love with competition for the high level that he does play at. Same question. Do you think this pay increase was enough to keep him to stay? And if not, with what Trey said, I mean, why come out and have those discussions in public about potentially retiring if it's not something that's going to happen?
No, I don't believe he would have stopped playing. But that's the risk the team was going to run. You know, they couldn't. He was in the perfect position. He's thought of as one of the best players to play at his position. He's thought of as one of the best players currently in the National Football League, if not the best player. I think he was rated number 1 on the NFL top 100 list, maybe a time or two. So no, I don't think he was just going to give it up. But he had to play that game, you know, like if you guys ain't going to pay me, I'm going to just go ahead and retire, kind of what Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson did. Nobody thought those guys were going to retire, but the Lions didn't want to pay up, so they were just like, all right. I mean, if that's what y'all want to do, then I guess I'm not going to play for this shitty team. But the flip side of that, the Rams aren't a shitty team, right? They just won a Super Bowl. Their value couldn't be any higher right now. So he knew they was going to pay up. All he had to do is talk about, I'm not going to play. And that destroys their Super Bowl chance. They want to get back there. So he's just playing the game within the game. That's why he's one of the best defensive tackles in the National Football League. Because there's a lot of guys that's as strong as Aaron Donald, that can run fast or even faster than Aaron Donald, that could jump as high.
Tackle? Probably not. Yeah. It's not a lot.
Yeah, but it's not a lot, but there's probably some. But Aaron Donald's he plays the mental game very well. That's as a defensive lineman, that's one thing that I play defensive line. So you got to play the mental game with the offensive lineman. You got to think he's got to think you're doing one thing when you're doing another. You got to set up moves. You know, it's a physical battle down there, but it's a mental game as well. So he's good at doing those things. Obviously, he's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback player, at least for this year, maybe next year. But then it's going to be some other guy who's going to be destroying the league that's going to get that money. So he earned it. His time is due, you know?
All right. Now, with all that being said, and Trey, I know you mentioned 31 being young, and it makes sense, that statement. But I do want to bring to light the fact of the matter of the position that he plays, the impact on his body that has playing at the level that he plays. He's 31 years old. A lot of guys don't see 35 in that role. You know, quarterbacks are really the ones that go the long haul in the league, I would say. And the long haul being that, you know, like Tom Brady playing at 43. That's considered like way far out there. My question is, and definitely I want a response from that, because I know that's not an unbiased remark. Do you think that he will see out the full? Because this contract, obviously, given what he's given to the team, it's going to have outs. He's going to have options to not see out the full 3 if he wants to retire before then. Do you think he'll take one of those outs, or do you think he'll see out the full 3?
I think he'll see out the full 3. But with Aaron Donald is almost perfectly shaped for his position. Aaron Donald he's been in the league how many years? He hasn't really had any major injuries. I think Aaron Donald's perfectly shaped for his position. He's not super long, so he doesn't take as much punishment as far as his lower extremities, and he can get a low center of gravity. Aaron Donald's only like 6'1", doing what he's doing. So, and he's wide, and he's pure muscle. Like, he's genetically designed to play the position he's playing, almost. We saw another person like that didn't really get hurt that often, was undersized technically for his position. His name was Warren Sapp. One of the greatest tackles to ever play this game. Aaron Donald's in that same vein. They're not super long. They're not 6'5", 6'6". They're not 350 pounds. They're compact and they're strong, and they have a low center of gravity, and they can easily get up under the shoulder pads and up under all offensive linemen and have the force and power in their legs to move them. So potentially, I think Aaron Donald can play for one of those crazy numbers. Like, I feel like he could be at a top person in the game for 15 to 18 years if he wanted to be. So I don't know.
Very interesting.
But I'm saying all that to say that I definitely don't see him just not playing the game. I definitely see him playing the game. He's just trying to leverage his measurables to more money, and that's let's take it for what it is. It's a money grab. He's not really going to stop playing the game of football. I mean, and I don't know Aaron Donald or know anything or know him personally or anything like that, but I can't just see him. It doesn't make sense. So you're just not going to get any money?
They'd have like cap room. I think they'd have to pay him on the third year. I think a lot of the analysts.
Super Bowl. I'm not. When it comes to billionaires and cap space, I don't really care. They have the money. Right.
Okay. All right.
Are you going to lose Aaron Donald because you want to save cap space, or are you going to keep he's a guaranteed Hall of Famer?
Absolutely.
What are you going to do? Let him go to another team to beat you? Because he's going to go to a team that has to play you out of spite. That's what they do.
Sahe, what do you think, man? Do you think that I mean, you like you said, you played this, you've lived this. He's 31 years old now. He's got a Super Bowl under his belt. He's kind of, I mean, one could say if they wanted to, he's done what there is to do in the league. We just talked about him being number one on NFL's top 100. Do you see him playing out his contract and beyond, or do you think he'll take one of the outs that's in there?
Man, it just depends. If the Rams are winning still, I see him playing out his 3 years. And I feel like he's going to be a guy that kind of like Stu at the end of his career. Bouncing around to veteran teams, to teams that are winning, like veteran teams that are winning, guys that are ring chasing. Maybe he'll link up with Aaron Donald, not Aaron Donald, but Russell Wilson in a few years. Maybe he'll link up with Patrick Mahomes in a few years to really get him back over that hump. So I think he'll complete those 3 years, and I don't think he'll retire a Ram necessarily. Like the last season he'll play, he'll probably sign one of those one-day contracts and retire as a Ram, but he's going to play for a few more years. He's only been in the league 7 years. I see him playing at least a good 12.
All right. And of course, folks, we want to know what you think out there about Aaron Donald. That being said, also, just the Rams in general, Matthew Stafford also got a raise. He just got his new 4-year contract for $160 million. It seems like in this offseason that the Rams are doing everything that they can do to try to mirror the Patriots with a back-to-back Super Bowl win. That's an older reference for those of you who've only been watching the NFL for a couple years. I don't know. I don't know why I threw that reference in there. But do you guys think that, so they paid Aaron Donald. He's definitely going to be playing at least, and according to The Wire, the next 3 years. They've now well compensated their veteran quarterback in Matthew Stafford. We've given him his praises. Is there anyone else on their roster that they should consider reworking a contract to guarantee that they stick around in order to present the best possibility for repeat success?
Cooper Kupp.
I mean, Cooper Kupp just got a contract though, didn't he?
So did Russell Wilson.
well, no. When I read it, Russell Wilson only has 2 years left on his deal. I mean, that's almost when you start negotiating new contracts nowadays in the NFL. So it's not too far off base. But Cooper Kupp, I think Cooper Kupp just got a contract, last year? The year before last?
Right. Well, Russell Wilson just got traded too. So
he just got traded, but he's on the last 2 years of a contract.
Yeah.
That makes sense for a quarterback to do that. So I feel like I was a little bit too harsh on initially because I felt like he had 3 years left on his contract. Then I was going to be like, okay, you're doing too much. But 2 years left on his contract, he can start negotiating now. If he starts missing camp over 2 years, then we have a problem. But
so you don't think Cooper Kupp needs any love at the moment? They should just start working towards training.
I'm about to look up his contract right now. What's his contract? Let's see what his contract is. I don't know.
He's got 3 years left, but 2 years guaranteed. It's either a team option or a player option after 2023.
And this is the research that makes The Wire happen, folks. You get to see it live right here.
Exactly. He signed a 3-year, $447.25 million contract, including a $6 million signing bonus. And he signed that in slow internet. I apologize. He signed that in 2024. He's a free agent. So he signed that in
September 2020.
He signed it in 2012.
Yep, 2020.
So yeah, he can restructure a contract right now. You need to pay him. I don't know how much he's asking for, but whatever it is, you need to pay him.
Well, that was just Sahe. I don't know that I don't think he's asked for anything yet. The question was
because
just
he's a real one.
Yeah, who if anyone?
And then he asked for him.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp, every day, I like him more and more.
They should have paid Von Miller as well.
Huh?
They should have paid Von Miller.
But, I mean, to be honest, they can't pay everybody. So we're going to pay a defensive tackle, a defensive end, a wide receiver, and a quarterback, plus an offensive lineman. These are the highest paid players in your game. They can't all be top 5.
Yeah.
They can't all be top 5 in sign. That's just a reality of the game. It is LA. LA, you tend to split attention. They don't. When they're hot, they're hot. But if they're not hot, there's other things to do. You know what I mean? They can't spend $1 billion. If they could, if there was no cap, then they would definitely spend $1 billion on these players. But they can't. So what are they going to do? Somebody has to go.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of superstar players.
Who does?
Coming back, the Rams.
Yeah, they have all superstar players. They have a superstar on the defensive line. They got a superstar at the DB. They got a superstar at quarterback.
Hold on, talking about what superstar DB?
Jalen Ramsey.
Oh yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
I was waiting for the fire to crack off, and then it just sizzled
They got
out.
a superstar their offensive line. They're going to pay offensive linemen, and they got a superstar.
They just lost their best guy.
Whitworth, but he was in the league for 15 years.
Yeah, they ain't gonna have an offensive line.
They are. They're going to pay for one, and they drafted one.
Yeah, they're gonna be in trouble.
So do you think?
I watched that movie last night.
Classic.
Do you think with that being said, do you think then the focus should be on kind of scanning and seeing who they can make sure that is nice and happy that they have now? Or do you think they should allocate the rest of the money that they have available to an offensive line into positions where
you have to pay Aaron Donald? He's the greatest defensive player this generation has seen. So he's bringing in ticket sales automatic just off of that. You're not bringing him in for win shares. You're bringing him off everything. He's bringing endorsements. He's bringing ticket sales. He's bringing, right now he's bringing production. Eventually he's going to get to a point to where his production is going to be less than what he actually brings in ticket sales, which is going to be crazy. And then you have to pay your quarterback. Matt Stafford is a 5,000-yard passer on a shitty team. And just with this team, in his first year with the team, he took you to a Super Bowl. You have to pay your quarterback. Cooper Kupp is your best wide receiver. He's a top 5 wide receiver, and you don't just come on. They don't just grow on trees, so you have to pay him. Offensive line is the offensive line. They could probably get away with doing a makeshift offensive line. And Jalen Ramsey, you brought him in to win a Super Bowl. You could let him go, but you're probably going to get scored on a grip. So, I mean, decisions have to be made. That's why GMs make as much money as they do.
Fair enough. Sahe, what do you think?
You know, they got some guys. They got Bobby Wagner. They signed him in free agency.
I forgot they have an all-star at every level of their defense. The linebacker position, and the DB position.
Yeah.
Who's a better linebacker than Bobby Wagner right now? Middle linebacker.
Levante David.
Yeah, he's learning.
Fred Warner.
He doesn't have the wisdom of Bobby Wagner.
Fred, well, I'm gonna just dismiss what you just said and not respond because you obviously don't know, which you should be in a Falcons fan. I'm gonna let it slide. Levante Davis, the GOAT.
Right now, would you take Levante?
Whoa, was that a GOAT?
You said Levante David or Bobby Wagner?
Right now, if you had a chance to get Bobby Wagner for a trade, for just a straight up trade, would you not take Bobby Wagner?
Hell no.
You trip.
I also think we have a GOAT alert. Did you say Levante Davis is the GOAT? Is that what you said?
Slight exaggeration.
Okay. We'll pull it back.
Slight exaggeration.
Slight.
Levante Davis going in the Buccaneers Ring of Honor. He a Hall of Fame linebacker.
Don't mean nothing.
The Hall of Fame don't mean nothing. Come on, man, check the stats. Levante David is that dude. But Bobby Wagner's cool though. He's gonna be good for him.
He's cool though.
He ain't gonna do what Von Miller did.
They don't play the same position.
Right, but Von Miller had that impact. You weren't able to double
Bobby Wagner. When it's all said and done, Bobby Wagner is gonna be a top 5 middle linebacker.
I'll believe it. Top 5 of his draft class or something.
No.
But overall. Bobby Wagner, cool though. He good.
All right,
he just ain't on my man's level.
Folks, weigh in. Let us know what you think, man. What do the Rams need to do to repeat? Trey, we're short on time. We probably got time for one of your hot takes here. Did you have one that you wanted to throw out there?
I had 2. I think I want to talk about the Lamar Jackson deal. But I'm gonna go with the Sam Walton son buying the Broncos for $4.5 million. Because if they're worth $4.5 million, then how much are the Cowboys worth?
Billion, right? Was it million or billion?
Excuse me, billion.
Yeah. Man.
And mind you, he's worth $58 billion. And the study showed that if you would comparably take what he's worth and how much he bought the Broncos for, it would be as if the median home income spent $9,000 on a professional football team, which is less than a car. That's upsetting.
What do you make of the heir of Walmart purchasing the Broncos, Sahe?
It's like, oh man, that's like something I wasn't expecting. I know the Broncos are up for sale. There's another team up for sale. I think no, it's not the Panthers. It might be it's not the Texans. It's one of these. I think it's one of these teams that's up for sale. But the Broncos went first. Walton buys it, right? Like, man, that's amazing. Just to be able to be like, all right, the Broncos are up for sale. Let's go buy them. Let's go buy an NFL team. Let's own an NFL team. What kind of life is that? Like, to be the heir of Walmart, like, man, you just do whatever you want. You like just playing Monopoly at this point, right? You know what I'm saying? He was probably playing a game with some dudes and they're like, I bet you won't. He was like, bet I won't what? Hey, the Broncos for sale. I seen it online. I bet you won't buy them. And he was probably trying to flex for some, you know what I'm saying, a little hottie, you know what I'm saying, trying to get some draws. You know what I'm saying? He was like, look, I'll buy the Broncos right now. He got Roger Goodell on the phone. He was probably drunk, made the deal, forgot he bought him, and he's now the owner of the team. Like, this is crazy.
That's how Jimmy Jones bought the Cowboys.
Right?
maybe this is why Russell Wilson's asking for more money, because
exactly. That's what I was going to say. He was like, well, he's good for it for sure. You just bought the team for how many billions? A couple hundreds of millions ain't nothing to you, man. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and just line my pockets. So that's amazing, right? What's his name? Amazon man?
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos looking to get into a team. So I think some
He's
NFL
hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah, he can afford a couple teams.
Yeah.
He can buy all the teams.
Well, that would just be a monopoly then.
Like all the teams, every sports league. Even like the arena team.
And mind you, let's not forget Jeff Bezos had to give half, and he's still worth all that.
Man, all the teams gonna have Amazon jerseys.
The shitty ones.
Right.
Man, I just can't. Walmart, they are already such a shitty organization. They've been under scrutiny from the beginning. The manufacturers, I'm not going to get into all the politics of it, but the manufacturers that they've decided to fill their product lines with, man, I just can't get behind.
I'm now just surprised that it took them this long.
Yeah. I see that. I do see that.
Surprised.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just can't believe, like, I have a hard time shopping at Walmart. I shop at Walmart because sometimes that's where I gotta go.
Walmart makes it so convenient that you have to shop there. I hate shopping at Walmart as well. But you're not gonna get a better price, and they always have what you want.
That's true. And now they have the Broncos.
And now they have the Broncos. They're gonna have Broncos gear in every single Walmart.
I know that's gonna be interesting annoying and interesting for advertising. Like, all right, we got Buckeyes jerseys, we got Bengals jerseys, we got Browns jerseys, and there's an entire section of Broncos stuff over here.
We're out here struggling to find Falcons.
All right,
instead of pylons in the end zone, Bobby Walton's going to put an old man, poor old man in the end zone. He's going to say, "Welcome to the end zone."
Oh man, forever. What's his name? Dunham. Jeff Dunham is always going to stick it. Welcome to Walmart. Get your shit and get out. Okay, so this has been the Wire Sports Podcast. We got some things to do here. What we got to do? If first of all, let us know what you think about Bobby Walton buying the Broncos. Check out all of the shows. We have been working our butts off to produce a lot of content for you folks, and it's just growing day over day. Free Mess is coming out on Friday, so you're checking this out on Wednesday. You got a day to rest, and then you need to do what you got to do to make an hour of your day about Free Mess on Friday, starring Sahe. We got Trey in there. We got a whole bunch of fantastic co-hosts coming in and out of that show. It's a fantastic show right out of the gate. Don't miss it. Saturdays are about true crime, so if you are into that, True Crime for the Innocent Mind, starring myself, my beautiful fiance Jordan, and co-owner of H2G Radio, Andrew Kleffer, who is our Innocent Mind. Recently, we've been recording some episodes with Sahe, with Trey. We've got other big guests coming up in the future. So if you're into true crime at all, Casey Anthony Part 3 comes out. No, it just came out. So it's moving on to the Creepypasta episode, which is a shout out to last podcast on the left. It's a lot of really fun stuff. Let's see, what else we got? We got Actors Breakdown, Andrew and Justin's Acting Breakdown on Sunday. And shows to look forward to. We got the Boss Dog show coming out. 3 other shows in the making. So folks, if you want to get involved, I can't say it enough, give us a shout at justosbestlive@gmail.com. We are here to grow on purpose. There are ways to make money doing this. You just got to be successful, and that's what we're trying to do. So check out the link in the bio, and you can go and support our Patreon, and that's how you can give to making this little radio network even bigger than it's already become. And we thank you so much for being here. This has been the Wire Sports Podcast. Live, laugh, love like it's your last, and stay classy, would you? This has been an H2G Radio production.